So, if I told you that there are companies out there right now paying people to literally talk to AI all day, would you even believe me? I mean, it sounds a little like sci-fi, right? Well, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because today we are breaking down a massive shift happening right now in the gig economy. I'm going to show you 6 legitimate platforms that are actually paying people to interact with artificial intelligence. So whether you're just looking for a quick side hustle or maybe aiming to build a highly specialized remote career, we have a ton of fascinating ground to cover.
Okay, let's dive into this. The short answer? Absolutely. Yes. These are real companies, they are actively hiring, and everyday people are actually getting real money deposited into their accounts as we speak. But before we get completely swept away by the hype, I want to make sure we're setting the right expectations here. I really want to ground us with the reality check you're seeing here. To quote our source directly, this is not one of those make money while you sleep situations. We really need to bust that passive income myth right out of the gate. Look, most of these roles are strictly task-based and contract-based. And why is that? Well, because AI development happens in massive waves, right? These specific engineering sprints. So you get paid when you actually sit down, do the focus work, and complete the tasks for those sprints. For some platforms, you're going to need to pass an entry test. For others, well, they might not have tasks available every single day. And honestly, your geographic location might even affect your access. You're basically trading your time and your brain power for an hourly or per task rate.
So, what does this actual work look like? We call this AI training work. At its core, you are completing tasks like rating AI responses, providing feedback, or labeling data. By doing all this, you're essentially helping to improve how these massive AI systems behave, how they think, and how they respond to us humans. You are the human in the loop teaching the machine. It's kind of like telling it that a recipe for a chocolate cake probably shouldn't include motor oil. You are the safety check and the quality control all rolled into one.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the beginner-friendly platforms, then move into the critical thinking platforms, explore the specialized and stable roles, and wrap up with your next steps.
Let's start with Section 1, the beginner-friendly platforms. This is for when you just want some low-pressure work to get your feet wet. First up is Prolific. Honestly, if you're looking for the absolute easiest way to get started, this is it. It has incredibly low friction to sign up, which means the barrier to entry is basically non-existent. It's so beginner-friendly, and their tasks absolutely do not require you to have any prior tech background or any specific work experience whatsoever.
So on Prolific, you're typically going to be completing short studies. This includes answering conversational prompts, giving your straightforward feedback on how an AI responded to a question, or, just sharing your personal opinion on how a specific tool works. It's simple, it's highly structured, and honestly, the best part, it really doesn't require any strenuous, deep thinking. You just log in, click whatever task is available, complete it, and get paid. It feels super intuitive. And the pay rate averages between $15 to $30 an hour, depending entirely on how complex that specific task is. Now, while the work isn't always flowing every single day, it is easily one of the most accessible platforms out there for a totally stress-free start. Next on our beginner list is Remotasks. This one is often considered the classic starting point for people who want to break into AI training, but maybe feel just a little bit intimidated by all the technology. What makes Remotasks stand out so much is that they actually provide step-by-step training before you even touch the real work, so you're never just left sitting there guessing about what to do. With Remotasks, you're doing highly structured things. Think labeling images, categorizing data, reviewing very basic AI outputs. To put that into perspective, this might literally mean drawing boxes around pedestrians in an image to help train a self-driving car, or categorizing if a sentence sounds happy or sad. You log in, finish a small task, and get paid for it. Now, if you look at the pay rate, you'll see it sits a bit lower, usually around $5 to $20 per hour. This depends heavily on the task and how fast but accurately you can work. So, no, it's not the highest paying option we'll see today, but it is a phenomenal training ground to build up your confidence and really understand how this whole AI ecosystem operates.
Okay, let's move to and see how this builds. Because once you master the basics of tagging and labeling, you are totally ready to level up to evaluating complex reasoning.
That brings us perfectly to Section 2, the critical thinking platforms. This is our intermediate tier, requiring a bit more quiet focus and active problem solving. Enter SGAI. Now, this platform is a bit more selective. Getting your foot in the door definitely involves a stricter application process. But rather than seeing that as a hurdle, you should totally view it as a positive challenge. Actually getting accepted is sort of a badge of honor, and once you're in, it's incredibly rewarding work. SGAI operates entirely behind the scenes with some of the biggest AI companies in the world, so the tasks here are a massive step up from basic data entry.
With SGAI, you are actively evaluating an AI's reasoning. You're reviewing much more complex, multi-paragraph responses to help improve how these systems actually think through difficult problems. You aren't just clicking or tagging boxes anymore. You might be checking if an AI's complicated math equation actually holds up, or, say, reading a historical essay it wrote to make absolutely sure it didn't just invent a fake battle out of nowhere. You're critically thinking through the responses to ensure they logically make sense. The cool thing is, you still don't have to deal with clients or jump on remote Zoom meetings. It's very quiet, focused work, but it's way more engaging, and the pay generally ranges from $15 to $30 an hour depending on the scope of the project.
Now, if you've been exploring this space even a little bit, the name you've probably heard the most is Data Annotation. It is basically the most talked about platform across job boards and side hustle forums right now. And the reason for all that buzz, it's the straightforward process. You apply, you pass an initial assessment, and boom, once you're in, you get access to a dashboard of tasks as they roll out.
The work here is super interesting. It involves rating long-form responses, actually writing high-quality answers completely from scratch to teach the AI the right tone, and even comparing multiple answers against each other to pick the ultimate winner. It definitely requires fantastic attention to detail and really clear, logical thinking. But the structure is incredibly appealing, right? No clients, zero phone calls, just complete the tasks and move on with your day. And look at that pay rate. Lots of people start at a very solid $20 an hour. But here's the kicker. Depending on your skill level, especially if you have advanced skills like, say, computer programming or specialized creative writing, some of these roles can scale all the way up to $40 or even $60 per hour. Now, just to manage expectations, that high end is for specialized skills, but it's still literally one of the most straightforward ways to earn a solid income online right now.
Now, let's step into Section 3, the specialized and stable roles. This is for those of you looking for actual long-term growth, consistency, or maybe you want to use specific professional skills you already have. Stepping into this specialized tier, we have Miko AI. Now, this platform operates very differently from the others we've looked at. Miko AI connects you directly with companies that need advanced AI training in highly specific areas. We're talking complex finance, specialized legal writing, heavy medical research, or deep technical fields. Because of this, look, it is not the most beginner-friendly platform. They are specifically hunting for people with a detailed eye and actual real-world domain knowledge in these fields.
Now, what is really interesting about this slide is that number right there, $90. Because Meko AI requires that hyper-specialized niche knowledge, the upside is massive. Pay rates on this platform usually start around $30 an hour, but they can skyrocket all the way up to $90 an hour. It's incredibly rewarding if you happen to hold the professional background they're looking for and you really want to grow long-term within the AI development space.
And finally, we have Invisible Technologies. Honestly, this is the absolute dream platform for anyone who wants a role that feels way less like random gig work and much more like a stable, long-term remote job.
Instead of constantly jumping between short, disconnected tasks whenever they happen to randomly pop up, Invisible Technologies offers ongoing, consistent work. You're working behind the scenes within a really organized system, doing things like moderating content, reviewing AI responses, and this is key, improving business processes over time. That means it's less about just rating a single random AI response and way more about refining the entire workflow of an AI model that's being used for real-world business tasks. It's predictable, it's steady, and you don't have to endlessly chase down new tasks every morning. Now, it does require a much more formal application process and an interview compared to the others, and the pay ranges from $15 to $28+ an hour depending on your experience. But if absolute stability is your ultimate goal, this is the gold standard for sure.
Which brings us to our final section, your next steps. You've got the info, now it's time to figure out exactly how to use it. We have covered the full spectrum today, haven't we? From the super easy entry of prolific and remote tasks to the critical thinking required for SGII and data annotation, all the way up to those highly specialized, stable roles at Meko AI and Invisible Technologies. So, what's the secret here? Do not go and apply to all 6 at once. Seriously, pick the one that fits your current level of experience right now, try it out, and just see if this type of work clicks for you. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Which of these 6 AI platforms are you going to tackle first to kickstart your AI side hustle? Let us know down in the comments. And hey, if this explainer helped bring some clarity to the massive, sometimes confusing world of AI training jobs, please tap that like button so more people can discover this information.
Don't forget to share this with a friend who's looking for remote work, and hit subscribe so you never miss one of our structured deep dives. Because as AI continues to evolve, will the humans training it become the most essential workforce of the next decade? Something to really think about. Until next time, take care and happy exploring.